Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jay Randall, and today we have another video to react to. The video is in regards to a woman that lost her boyfriend to red pill content. Now this video has been making its rounds around the different reaction channels, and I wanted to give my take on it. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
I was with my best friend from 19 to 26 years old. That dude was my fucking everything, okay? This is the story that he would tell everybody when they would ask what kind of person I am. We've been together for like 2.5 years at this point, maybe 2 years, and he gotten signed to Universal Music, an amazing producer, artist, fantastic. And he was living in Vegas, and I showed up at his place in Vegas for the first time since he had moved there. And this man was sleeping on a blow-up mattress. And I was like, there was no way that the man that I love is gonna sleep on a blow-up mattress. I had no job at this point. I had just moved to the US, was getting my green card. I couldn't work. With the little money that I did have, I went and I bought him a mattress and put it in the back of my Passat, okay? And then proceeded to carry that mattress up 3 flights of stairs at like 9 o'clock in the morning in the scorching Vegas heat. Walk in there, I'm like panting, sweating, dying, because that's what you do when you love somebody. That's the kind of person that I am in a relationship. I will give 100% of myself and the last bit of energy that I have because I love you. That is what a woman does. Yeah, we can talk about how I cooked and cleaned for him and helped him with his business and helped him become a fucking millionaire, and now he lives in a nice penthouse fucking apartment in Vancouver. I don't need to talk about that because I know what kind of woman I am when I show up in a relationship. You wanna know I ruined that relationship? We were long distance for a period of time. I went during the pandemic and I was staying with him in Vancouver, and something changed. And you want to know what changed? He started watching podcasts like Fresh and Fit. He started listening to content about MGTOW, and that man changed. And I would sit across from him and not understand the person that I was seeing. I felt like I was waking up to somebody that I did not know. I am qualified to talk about this shit. I am qualified to understand the repercussions that red pill content have on men, because the person that I wanted to spend my life with, the person I was in love with, the person I wanted to fucking marry changed overnight because of the content like that. And I see now the men who do watch that content, I hear the things that they say because I would listen to it. I actually started consuming that content because I wanted to understand what happened. To all the men who asked me that question, there's your answer.
Okay, so here are my thoughts on the video. Okay, so number one, she starts off by saying that he was this perfect boyfriend, they were in a great relationship, and he was everything she ever wanted. And then they started going long distance for a period of time, and during that period of time, he starts consuming red pill content and MGTOW content, and that leads him to begin to change into someone that she couldn't recognize, and that led to the end of the relationship. Well, first of all, I want to go ahead and address her initial story about her, buying him a mattress and bringing up a bunch of flight of stairs in the heat. Well, here's the thing. Whether she did that or not, that's irrelevant. Women always paint themselves in the best light. I want to point out that she told that story before she said anything about the relationship to paint herself as the caring, loving, nurturing, girlfriend who caters to her boyfriend. That she's an amazing girlfriend. Women always paint themselves this way. Over here, we don't believe women off rip because we've seen plenty of stories where women paint themselves as this amazing, loving, caregiving individual. And then you hear the guy's side and it's like, yeah, no, she was an absolute monster. But of course, she highlights this one instance where she was an amazing girlfriend. No, yeah, so we don't buy that. I have to hear that from the guy before I buy how great of a girlfriend a woman is. I never take their word for it, bro, because they never are honest about how they truly are. They never say a single negative thing about them. And we know 9 times out of 10, women are not perfect in relationships. They're not nowadays great people in relationships. So the idea that she was this amazing individual, I highly doubt it, especially since he changed. But we'll get into that later. My second issue was the fact that she tried to paint this narrative that she was the reason he became successful. She said that she helped him with his business and now he's a millionaire, kind of insinuating that he wouldn't be successful without her input, which is completely false, bro. Most men who become millionaires would have become that millionaire man regardless of the woman in their life. But women love taking credit for men's success all the time, bro. They always attribute it to themselves. He would have been successful without you, sweetheart. Maybe it would have taken him a little bit longer to achieve that success. but he would have got there. So stop trying to take credit for him becoming the millionaire that he is. But let's get into her claims that the red pill content is responsible for changing her boyfriend into someone she couldn't recognize. So here's what happens when a man comes across red pill content for the first time. You see, for most men, they go their entire lives without really questioning the way relationship dynamics work. They adhere to the idea that a woman is always right. They adhere to the idea that they need to adhere to a dynamic of happy wife, happy life. That's what most men go their whole lives doing. And it's not until they come across a video where a guy like Myron makes them question everything. Now, up until this point, they might not even realize that they are in dynamics that don't benefit them because it's just what they were told to do. Their dad was in a relationship with happy wife, happy life. A woman's always right. That was their uncle. That was their grandfather. So they just were doing what they always saw. And then all of a sudden they come across a video where they hear a guy like Myron say something along the lines of, modern women want men to be traditionally masculine and carry out all their gender roles, while simultaneously they want to be 304s, dress like sluts, and engage in party girl, city girl behavior, and they want you to tolerate it while still simultaneously carrying out your traditional gender role. And then that guy's like taken back, like, whoa, I never thought about that. Holy crap. Then he analyzes his relationship, and guess what? A lot of the times, the dynamics that are discussed on these podcasts are exactly what these men are living. It's like, wow. My girlfriend does dress like a hoe. She does post promiscuous videos and content on the internet. Wow, she does have guy friends. Now that I think about it, now that I actually have the information to question my reality, I'm not okay with that. And then they get information and about how these different dynamics play out and what outcomes you tend to get from it. And they realize, wow, man, I'm on a path to failure. I am on a one-way track to divorce, to just chaotic relationship. I need to get it together. But prior to this, they never think to question it. But here's the thing, guys. I mentioned earlier that I don't buy this idea that she was this perfect girlfriend in the relationship. I really don't. I rarely buy that from any woman. But here's the exact reason why I doubt it. Because if that man was watching red pill content like Fresh and Fit, by the way, I'm mentioning Fresh and Fit a lot because that's actually who she mentioned in the video. I'm just putting myself in the guy's shoes. Let's say I have a girlfriend and I'm coming across red pill content for the first time. And I'm seeing these 304s and how they talk about men and how they expect relationship dynamics to work and how they should be able to live these lifestyles while still being able to keep a man, and how a man needs to chase them and pursue them and tolerate all this, 304 city girl behavior, how they have no respect for men. And I'm watching this. And if I have a girlfriend that isn't exhibiting any of these qualities, I'm not gonna leave her. I'm gonna value her even more because that's my current situation, right? I have a girl that I'm dating, and when I watch a Fresh and Fit or whatever podcast clips and I see these chicks, it makes me value my girl even more. You know why? Because she isn't exhibiting any of the behaviors that I see on these shows. So the last thing I would do is mess up what I have. It makes me value it even more. When I watch those things, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so lucky to have found a unicorn that doesn't think like these chicks, doesn't act like these chicks, doesn't dress like these chicks, doesn't do anything like these chicks, and actually caters to me and actually cares about me and contributes to the relationship in a way that I appreciate. But here's what most likely happened. He most likely was watching those podcasts and then took a look at his girlfriend and found that she exhibited at least a couple of the traits that he was seeing on those shows. Had to be that way, bro. Because no way a rational guy with a good girlfriend, because that isn't portraying those, 304 behaviors that you see on these shows, no way he would throw that away. That's valuable. And he would realize how valuable it is when he looked at those girls and like, wow, My girl's nothing like that. Chances are, perhaps this girl was, dressing like the girls he saw on the show. Maybe she liked, to have guy friends or had these feminist views. Chances are, the girl who was claiming to be such a great girlfriend exhibited those traits. Maybe she was disrespectful, talked back to him. Maybe she was emasculating. There's a slew of things that he could have noticed that made him switch up. But of course, she's not going to address that, which is why she gave you the whole thing in the beginning of the video talking about how great of a girlfriend she is and how loving and caring she is. They all say that. But hold on. Let's just go ahead and grant for a second that she wasn't the most absolutely terrible girlfriend in the world, right? Maybe she wasn't, disrespecting him overtly or crossing his boundaries. But maybe he still analyzed the relationship and was like, you know what? She's not a horrible human being, but she's not traditional. And I want a traditional girl. I want a girl who is going to cook, clean, be submissive, raise the kids. And maybe he realized that he was dating a boss babe who had a completely different trajectory for how she wanted to live her life than the one that he actually wanted. So maybe she wasn't an absolute horrible individual, but he realized that the kind of girl that she wasn't what he ultimately wanted in the long term. She mentions in the video that the guy is a millionaire now, very successful. Well, chances are he became aware of the risks and liabilities that come along with marrying a woman when you have substantial amounts of wealth. And perhaps he looked at the situation and thought to himself, you know what? I can't afford to take this risk. This isn't worth my while. I've put a lot of work into becoming this version of myself, and I don't want a woman to just come into my life and divorce me 5 years from now and walk away with half. A lot of guys are unaware of just how evil the courts can be when it comes to divorce. And I know for a fact, if he was watching Fresh and Fit, he definitely became aware of that. So that could be one of the reasons which led him to not want to engage in the relationship like he was prior. The way I see it, it was either he was watching those videos and he saw his girlfriend in those chicks, or he saw those chicks in his girlfriend, and he saw the kind of traits and characteristics in the same girl that he's dating, and that turned him off, or he saw that the path that she was on wasn't ultimately what he wanted for his life. Either way, he made the call for his life that was best for him. Here's the thing that women ultimately hate. They hate the fact that men are starting to question the status quo. They're starting to question the way we do relationships, and ultimately they're deciding that how women want relationships to go doesn't benefit them. And so when men come to this realization, women get angry and say that they were radicalized. No, it's just that for the first time in his life, he's beginning to think for himself. And a lot of times he's actually beginning to ask the question, how does this benefit me? Because like I said, most men are programmed to think that the woman's happiness is paramount and their own comes second, if at all. Happy wife, happy life. But now men are looking at it as like, no, my happiness matters too. What I want in a relationship matters as well. And if she isn't willing to give that to me, well, I'm not just going to stay in this relationship and put up with it. I'm going to pursue what works for me. And women don't like the fact that men are questioning things. They want us to be good little boys and continue to go along with the way things have always been. And we're done with that. So here's my final thoughts on this particular topic. Men are waking up. They're discovering red pill content, and they're questioning the dynamic of their current relationships. And if the women in these relationships actually care about retaining these men, then guess what? They'll change and become the woman that he needs, become the woman that he wants to be with in the relationship. But most of these chicks want to stay exactly the way they are and have men tolerate their modern women behavior. And men just aren't doing that anymore because we know it's not worth it. And we know in the long run, we're the ones who are going to pay the ultimate price when she inevitably divorces us and takes half our stuff. So if we're going to engage in a relationship dynamic, we are now very intentional in making sure that it benefits us. So ladies, you might be the next chick whose boyfriend switches up on you. So if I were you, I would sit down with your boyfriend and have a discussion with him about what he really desires and what he truly needs in the relationship, to keep him happy and keep him satisfied and actually do that. Because coasting on this idea that you're this perfect girlfriend and you're doing everything for him, well, you're probably not. And if you want to avoid the situation and keep your guy, then I suggest that you drop the happy wife, happy life BS and actually cater to your boyfriend's needs or your husband's needs. Because that's the thing that's going to set you apart from the other chicks. And that's the thing that's actually going to make him feel like being in the relationship is worth his while. Like me, my girl, I'm not going anywhere. You know why? Because when I watch these shows, like I said earlier, she's nothing like the chicks I see on these shows. So for me, I'm a happy guy. But hey, that's all for today. If you got value from the video, please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to go ahead and message me on Instagram at jrandall_. Send in your questions and I'll make a video responding to it on this channel. And until next time, guys, take it easy.